2, 1. I believe we're live.
Live on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Twitter. Edgar, what's up, Edgar? We got Edgar on Insta. He's the first to join us. Who else we got? C Rahman is back. Tak Jakob. Big Apple. We got Twitter here as well. I gotta see a little closer here with Twitter. Come here, Twitter. Oh, you guys put the sandbag on here. Legit. And then Facebook. Facebook is still just barely waking up. Facebook, when you're waking up and you're up here, post a comment. There we go. Félix, Díaz, good morning, good morning, good morning. Richard, Edgar, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I figured it was appropriate for us to do a Facebook Live and Insta Live. Look, I'm curious to know what you're doing. If you want to kind of let us know what you're doing with this whole self-quarantine, and the California folks are home. 40 million, I think New York, a bunch of places are home, but in Texas, we're at the office here. Good morning, D Mason Stefan, Fought Jr., John Wills, Walid Idris, Fernanda Ross, Paul Gray, Walter Mundy, Aram, Balyan is on. We got Illinois here on this side. Here's what I'm doing. Let me tell you guys what I'm doing. So first of all, we're listening to the legendary song, Stayin' Alive. I thought it's very appropriate. You know what I'm saying? One thing most of you guys don't know is when I was in the Army, I had a massive poster of Saturday Night Fever and Stayin' Alive on my wall because I was the guy that would wear, I got to tell you, I mean, this is pretty, it's a confession time at a time like this. I mean, you can't judge me if I tell you this stuff. I was the guy that was wearing a polyester pants. Would you believe it, Kai? I was a polyester fan guy, and I would wear these tight polyester pants with bell bottoms, and that's what I would do. But let me tell you what I got going on here. This is what I'm doing here. We have, by the way, I'm going to do some calls here in a minute, so get your questions ready. I'm going to do some dial-in. So the good news is it's not going to be that many people because most people are asleep. So it's going to be a little bit more intimate than the other day. West Coast still hasn't woken up. I don't see a lot of West Coast. I'd be very impressed if West Coast people are already up on a Saturday morning where you have to sleep in. Because, you know, most people at times like this, it's another excuse to sleep in a little bit and relax. But here's what we're doing, okay? Here's what we're doing. The final draft of my book that's coming out on June 30th.
Yes.
With Simon Schuster is here. And we are going through all the notes, pages, everything. I can't wait to launch this book to you. According to Simon & Schuster, it's going to be at every single bookstore at airports and every single bookstore around the world. You know, London, Toronto, Sydney, New Delhi, New York. Everywhere you go, you're going to be able to get this book. It's exciting stuff. Your Next 5 Moves, which will be coming out here soon. But stay tuned for... We're going to do a first launch of it when we give details for some people that are on my community.
Yep.
It'll be a private
Pre-launch.
webinar that we'll do. We'll do a pre-launch on it, but that's not today. Today's not that. I'm just telling you I'm reading. That's what I'm doing. I can't wait to get this book in your hands so we can get you to identify your next 5 moves. Having said that, what's up? We got Tokyo here, by the way. India, Virginia in the house. Let's see what else we got going on. Are you guys staying home? What are you doing? Are you playing video games? You got people that are playing Madden. You got Snoop is playing Madden. Heath yesterday was playing Call of Duty. You got a bunch of different people doing different things, spending more time with their families. But so if that's the case, we got Arlington, Australia, South Mississippi, Chicago. Bunch of guys on this say LA's Luis Ramos is awake. Long Beach. Edgar Vidal is awake. Good. Gisele, LA is awake. Oscar from Oakland is up. Austria. Okay, sounds good. So if that's the case, guys, post your question, whatever it is. We're going to pick a few. Last time, I think Twitter won first, right? I think Twitter got the call first. This time we'll see who it'll be. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, question, and your phone number, and I'll dial you in. Question and phone number, I'll dial you in. I'll call you in, and we'll have a conversation together on speaker. And we'll go from there. So again, post your question, put your phone number. I'm a 21-year-old Lebanon, wondering if I should be working for a better opportunity. How to make money on cash. Kai, can you give me a little bit more water, buddy, if you don't mind? let's see what we got here. San Antonio, Nebraska. Okay, we got one question here on Insta. 25 years old with $15,000 in cash, making $4,000 a month. What do you think about dollar cost averaging $1,000 a month? I actually don't think that's a bad idea. If you dollar cost average a month, $1,000 a month, but maybe not $1,000 a month right now because, hang on, let me call this guy. I'm calling you, buddy. Tiny J56, you're about to get a call. There we go. We got to catch up on Facebook, so.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, is this Pat?
It is Pat.
What's up, Pat? Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you, man. So any zombies around your house, or you guys are pretty safe?
We're pretty safe.
Okay, that's good.
Right now, I'm working at the hospital right now. I'm doing graveyard shit and stuff.
I got to tell you, man, today, normally we ask military folks for their service, and we thank them for their service. But today we got to thank everybody that works at hospitals for their service. So appreciate you for your work, man. You're very important today.
I appreciate you very much as well. Thank you.
So tell me, what's on your mind? What are you thinking?
So right now, I know you read my questions. Like I said, I'm 25. I have 50,000 emergency funds saved up, and honestly, just while the market is down, I'm really thinking about dollar cost averaging around $1,000 per month just in different stocks, especially focusing on the travel industry. But I just wanted to get your opinion in regards to, do you think that's a good idea moving forward? And if you do you also think that I should maybe dip into my some of my emergency funds saved up as well, as far as using that?
So I got a couple questions for you. Are you single, married, kids? What's your situation?
I am single, no kids, not married. My expenses per month is about $1,200.
Okay, good.
And I'm making about $4K a month as well.
That's phenomenal. So if that's the case, and you said you're sitting on $15K right now, cash?
15K cash in my savings, but I'm using that as my emergency fund just in case shit hits the fan. You never know.
Yeah, instead of doing dollar cost averaging per month, $1,000 a month, I may not do it per month. I may do dollar cost averaging of $1,000 or $500 per 1,000 points the Dow goes down. So I'm looking at the Dow, and if the Dow goes from 20 to 19, I'm buying it down $500. If the Dow goes from 19 to 18, I'm buying another $500. If the Dow goes from 18 to 17, I'm buying another $500. I'm not doing dollar cost averaging right now by month. I'm doing it by 1,000 points of the Dow. So it's slightly different than what the traditional way of doing dollar cost averaging. I would do it per 1,000 points, then per month, if that makes sense. Because look, in reality, a lot of people have jobs. Like you have a job today. This morning I went to Chick-fil-A and I asked the guys, "You guys want some kind of a sandwich or protein?" They said yes. I got 3 sandwiches. I came over here, and when I was going through the drive-thru, I was looking at all the employees, and I saw like 8 people there. At least these 8 people have jobs and they're getting paid. A lot of people are on shutdown. There's a lot of airport workers that wish, flight attendants can't go on a plane and say, well, let me work. They're not going to hire them, right? So There are some industries that took a massive hit, but there are some industries that have a job. Good news is for you, you're in an industry that there's major demand right now. So the fact that you're still working, exactly, and we're grateful for you for wanting to work, but at the same time, you have an advantage right now to see if the economy goes like this and the Dow keeps dropping all the way down to 15 or 10,000 points. Every time 1,000 points goes down, $500 get back into it. That's what I would do if I were you.
Okay, I understand that completely. But like you talked about, so you mentioned it dropping every 500 points. But the thing is, like for instance, I only have a certain set amount of income allocated towards investing per month. Does that make sense? So for instance, let's say, hypothetically, the Dow drops, $1,500 tomorrow. Obviously, that's
well, let me ask you this: what's the purpose of your $15,000? What is the
emergency fund? Emergency fund.
What for, though? What for?
Just in case I lose my job or like family matters, car breakdown, unexpected events that.
How much of that $15,000 are you willing to put to work right now?
Ooh, that's something that, and off the top of my head, I'm willing to put in 5.
Okay, then go do that. So that's exactly the way I thought about it as well. That's why I told you $500 every $1,000 it drops, every 1,000 points it drops. Because if it goes from 19 to 10,000 points, what does it tell you? It tells you that there was one commented that I want to call this guy, keep losing his number. There's one guy that commented, what do you think about the big companies getting bailed out? I want to comment on that on Facebook if we can go find him.
Okay.
So that's why I told you $500 per 1,000 points. Again, same message I gave you earlier. Because 500, assuming the Dow goes down to 10,000, you can do that 10 times. 10 times 500 is what? $5,000. Makes sense.
Gotcha.
So go do that. But anyways, buddy, good to be chatting with you here. Get back to work. Take care of people. You're the savior today. We're relying on you to do your part. So, but appreciate you for having a conversation with us this morning.
But I appreciate you for calling me. Thank you very much.
You got it, buddy. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was good. But let's do another one. Let's see here. There was what's the book or content consumed during times like this for success? I mean, honestly, it's really about you improving yourself. Will I be visiting Europe? I was supposed to be in Germany in 2 weeks to speak in front of 7,000 people at their top annual conference that takes place. But unfortunately, obviously, there's no flying right now. Mario, were you able to find that one question with the guys? So if you asked the question about how to respond during times like this with big companies being bailed out, if you ask that question, there it is, Christian Garcia.
Yeah. 263.
Christian Garcia.
Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm watching you, but I think I am delayed.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm watching you right now, but it's delayed.
So guess what? You're getting what I'm saying before everybody else.
All right, well, now I'm just going to take off the headphones.
So tell me, Christian, where you based out of, and what's on your mind?
Well, I'm based out of Miami.
Okay.
I'm one of these fresh new entrepreneurs. I really don't have that much money, to be frank with you. My family, they're hardworking. I've been working with them. So, we have money saved up, though. We have more than $30,000. My brother makes around $120,000 as a computer security expert. So we can write it out. It's
awesome.
Not really an issue.
Awesome. So what's on your mind? What's your question?
Well, it's about the big companies that are being for the bailout, and like some companies, I just don't believe. Like some of the airlines, for example, Delta, they put money, they bought back like 20% of their stock. It's not as bad as some of them who are leveraged at 96%. And my thing about it is, should all of these airlines be allowed to be bailed out? I mean, some people are talking about, the company getting some equity in return, but my opinion, if some of these businesses in the same area are doing what they're supposed to be doing, they should be at least rewarded, or, the other ones should at least be allowed to fail. And then for those those who have cash or liquid, they should be allowed the opportunity to buy these companies up pennies at the dollar.
Listen, this is a very interesting argument. I'll try to explain it to you to the best of my abilities, because it is weird that these guys are able to be bailed out, but at the same time they can buy back shares after taxpayers are bailing them out. And why are they being bailed out? So years ago when this happened in 2008, like GM went and got bailed out, and they still haven't paid back their money till today. But a company like AIG got bailed out, and their CEO was a guy named Bob Ben Moshe, and he paid back $182 billion of debt in 3 years, I believe, and they paid back $183 billion of the debt plus $21 billion of interest. So it worked out for a company like AIG because they had a good CEO that was held accountable, and he had a good CFO, David Herzog, and they worked well with the Treasury, and they did their part right. And this was back in 2012 that they ended up paying everything back, or some timeline like that. And he just recently passed away 3 years ago. The Bob and Moshe died like 3 or 4 years ago. One of the best CEOs ever in the insurance industry. But most of the cases, that's not what happens. The challenge, so I'll give you both sides. My side is let them buy each other out. But if you do that sometimes as well, you're creating more monopolies, because if one company that has the money to go buy out two companies, 5 years later, one company has way too much control over everybody else. Now they have a opportunity to do a monopoly, and it doesn't really favor the consumer a lot. Here's why. It's better to have 10 airlines than to have 2 airlines. What's the problem if we have only 2 airlines?
Well, I've anticipated that, and I thought about it. My thing about it is, regardless, what are monopolies nowadays? When you think about Amazon.
But you didn't. If you want me to answer your question, you got to answer my question. Okay, we're not going to play the game and I answer your question so you don't answer my question. My question to you is, what happens if we only have 2 companies in the airline industry versus 10? What happens?
Well, I mean, the one company will have, diamonds, they can put whatever price they want on tickets.
And who takes the biggest hit?
The consumer.
Exactly. So they are concerned about only having 2 companies, because if they do, prices will go up, versus having 10 companies, they'll force each other to have lower prices. So that's the argument on that side. But go ahead. What's your follow-up question?
Well, it's not really a follow-up question, it's just a statement. I mean, times like these, people are having to change the attitude, the consumer needs to. And so this is a great opportunity for for example, let's take the car industry. In 2008, most of these businesses, these car companies would have probably flipped over. That probably would have been bad. Yes, I can agree with that. But I mean, when you in hindsight, when you look at people like Elon Musk, and at the time there were other electric car companies that wanted to start, but they were just too afraid. That would have been a great opportunity. Literally, when you think about it, we, United States, would have been more on electric 10 years ago than we are now. It's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs who are like, there's an opportunity for me to enter into this industry.
I don't think anybody's disagreeing, but you're going all over the place. I don't think this is about you being wrong with your statement. That's not the purpose. The purpose is that, you in the last, some number came out, like in the last 50 years, only one automaker has been able to be successful, and it's Elon Musk. So these guys are going based on certain data that they have. My concern isn't what you're saying. My concern is more that these bigger companies constantly feeling like they can make all the mistakes in the world and being bailed out, and there's a lack of accountability. The challenge isn't that they're being bailed out. The challenge is, if they're being bailed out, what's the number one motivation for being bailed out? And number 2, they should not be able to to go out and buy back any of their stocks unless if they pay 100% of their debt off with a certain timeline. Then they'll be able to do it. If there's no accountability, you shouldn't be able to buy back anything. And sometimes that's not what's taking place. So if they were able to be able to do that, then there'll be a different conversation. So again, good question, buddy. Christian, we're going to go to the next one. You have a good one. Try to stay away from all the zombies out there, buddy.
You too.
Okay.
Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye. Okay. He needs to go work for CNBC or MSNBC or one of those places because he's got opinions. I like it. Can I prepare the conference in July while insecurities are in the air? The Diplomat is currently closed for the next 4 weeks, so they're not even taking new registrations if you do call in. But we are updating everybody, and we're working on that. Thank you for asking that question. Do you think AAL will receive a bailout by the federal government, even though they're debt-driven? Okay, I can't. Kai, you want to go through the questions as well? Yep. If coronavirus is good for the economy, is the coronavirus good for the economy due to layoffs in factories and airlines? I don't understand that question, but maybe we'll call you just to see. So this is on to create new habits. Which habits would you create? All right, Aaron Stanton, you're getting a call, buddy. That's next. Aaron Stanton is getting the call. So last time our first two callers didn't pick up. Let's see if this is going to be Aaron
Hello?
this time. Is this Aaron?
Yeah.
Aaron, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Do I sound like a bill collector or do I sound like Patrick Bet-David?
Yeah. You sound like a bill collector.
I sound like a bill collector. So, Aaron, what's on your mind? Where are you based out of and what's on your mind?
Indiana, Carmel, Indiana.
Nice.
Yeah. So, so essentially, my business is called Synergize, and we're kind of a matchmaker between business leaders. So we go out and create relationships with leaders within the business community, and then we create legacy profiles on them, and then we match them opposed to them having to go out, sling business cards, and trying to build their own networks. We help create that for them.
Awesome.
And there's a lot of local businesses, mom and pop shops, and then also even larger businesses. And, things are just crazy right now. Restaurants,
So what's your question? What's your question?
So since we're in a time where the market is disciplining us, what are some habits that local business owners probably should have been doing all along, but now they're being forced to kind of recreate the way their business operates? And which habits should they focus on creating that even when things are back to the normal, they're habits they should have been doing all along? So kind of using this time that's kind of a negative into making it a positive when we all come out of it.
So let's go through the truth and let's go through some feedback on this, right? The truth of the matter is a lot of people are about to go out of business, okay? And that's just the truth. And by the way, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a good thing. And I'll explain to you why sometimes that's a good thing. Because there are a lot of people out there that are not responsible business owners who don't deserve to be in business. And I understand a lot of people don't want to hear this, and they're saying, well, Pat, give me a break. That's not a nice thing to say. How could you say something like that? I'm sorry. If you're not responsible and you're not being careful with the business, and you should have been preparing, knowing a rainy day is coming when the economic expansion has been at 28 months in a row, and we've never had 128 months, and you're not setting aside cash when you were making more money than ever before, you probably don't deserve to be an entrepreneur. You probably need to go back to being an employee. That's just the flat truth on what's taking place. And that part is a filtering process. If you go into the NBA, right, and you're playing basketball, and you see players that would come from off-season having gained 30 pounds, and you would see their belly being big, and they're upset because the NBA is calling them fat. Listen, what was your discipline during summertime when guys were at the gym training? You were clubbing every night and eating pizza every day. No wonder no one's going to give you a contract. Quite frankly, I don't feel bad for you because no one forced you to eat that cheesecake or go eat that McDonald's. So the same applies to business. Now, here's the second thing. So let's set that part aside. I had a moment of my assholeness. Let's set that aside, which is something about the truth. We have to talk about that, right? Okay, here's the second part. Look, number two, everyone around you, whatever position you're in, everyone is watching your face, your eyes, and your tone. Everybody. The reason why I'm doing these lives at this time is because I have investors, I have employees, I have offices, I have executives, I have vendors, I have partners. I have people from around the world who are getting on these lives who are not asking questions. They're just getting on to see my energy. They're just getting on to see what is this guy up to. I mean, even my competitors are on right now who are not asking any questions, and they use fake names to get on these. By the way, hello, competitors. If you're on, welcome. I know some of you guys are on here. I love you too, just so you know that. So you get on to show poise, because as a husband, you need to show poise. As a mother, you need to show poise. As a parent, as a son, as a daughter, as a father, as a mother, as a sibling, if you consider yourself a leader, you got to show yourself poise. So if you're running a company, everybody's looking at you to see how poised you are, and if you're panicking. If you're panicking, then there's going to be more troubles that's going to come around the corner for you. So far we've covered two things. One, some that are going to be gone because it's the filtering process. Number two is the poise and confidence to know that we're going to come up with a strategy that it's all going to work out. Number three, there's two things that win today. One of the things I talked last time about relationships, I'm going to give a complete different angle, because today, whoever's the best at building relationships is going to have an edge over their peers. But I'm going to give you a complete different perspective on two other things I haven't spoken about. One is speed. Everything's about speed. Okay, what do I mean by speed? Speed is, let's see, what are we going to do? Well, let's talk about that tomorrow morning, and we'll figure it out tomorrow morning when we have a follow-up. Nope, we got to figure out today. Well, it's so strange to me that in times of crisis, people are still taking all the time in the world as if they have the luxury of time. You don't have the luxury of time. People don't have that kind of time to go say, well, we'll get back to you and we'll see what we're doing. No, whoever's moving quickly is going to be winning today because speed is a big asset today, very big asset today. Here's the next one. There are times where there are certain areas in your business you should never be creative in. But today, the most creative people win. People keep asking me questions. How do you sell today? How do you do this today? How do you do that today? Look, I don't know. I don't know how many webinars I've done with the guys in our company and our all over the place. And we're just having meeting after meeting after meeting on different kinds of ways to create, to be creative. And the most creative people are making more sales than ever before. I don't know why a Sheena Sapala wrote $3.1 million of annuities so far, and they've never done that before. How do they do it? They're being creative. There's a certain method to their madness that they're doing that's working for them, right? Does that mean it's happening to everybody? No, it's not happening to everybody, but it's happening to some people, right? It's happening to some people that they're able to be creative for themselves. Oh, shoot, I just flipped this. So let me flip. Okay, we're back at it again. So then that's number 3 is creativity. And then the last one I'll give you at a time like this with business owners is accessibility. What do I mean by accessibility? People need to be able to get a hold of you if they go on your website, and there's got to be a live chat. People got to be able to get a hold of you if they call an 800 number. There's got to be somebody answering phone calls. There's got to be somebody answering emails. There's got to be somebody. If you were responding emails within 24 hours, do it in 6 hours. If you were responding to messages within 12 hours, respond in 6 hours. If you were responding to a chat on the website just through email, respond within 3 seconds. Everything is about accessibility and responding quickly today because it's calming people's nerves down. When I worked at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter and 9/11 happened, I'll never forget this. When 9/11 happened, nobody was answering calls. Everybody was afraid to answer calls. People were frightened to answer calls. People were afraid of picking up that phone call because what if the client changes their mind? What if they want to take that money out? What if they want to do this? What if they want to do that? And put a lot of fear in people, right? A lot of people were concerned about it, but the people that picked up the calls, here's what the call sounded like. Hey, John, this is Patrick. How you doing? What the hell is going on with the market right now with 9/11? What are we going to be doing at the... And then they would chew out the broker. And then the broker, all the broker had to say was the following. Hey, John, look, can you level with me here? I got 80 other brokers in the office who are frightened of calling their clients. I called you. Yeah, I'm on the phone with you. We're going to go through this together. And look, you lost money, I lost money. No one is not affected by this. We're all affected by this together. This is one time in the world we're all on the same team. I'm trying to protect your money just as much as I'm trying to protect my money as well as my family. We're going to get through this together. So what can I help you? So the approach of being accessible today is very valuable. And some businesses are going to do it. Some of them are not. By the way, these are the times where you work twice as hard and you make the same amount of money, if not a little bit less. But those who work twice as hard today and show the example to the peers that are working with them, when good times come around the corner, they're not going to make twice as much money. They're going to make 4, 5, 6 times the amount of money that they're used to making because everyone's going to remember how you responded today. Hopefully that answered your question for you.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, buddy, go to Indiana. Tell everybody in Indiana Patrick Believe said hello. And have a good day.
Awesome. Thanks for the call.
You got it, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye. All right, so I don't think I've done anything with Twitter. I'm just looking to see somebody on Twitter. How can I shadow you, please? I need it. I'm really ready for all the things. Shadow me. Senators getting inside information. Your opinion. Kai Green here. Hey, Kai. I'm a bill collector. I collect dollar bills. Good for you, man. That's good stuff. Okay, let's see. Twitter. You got to post your number if you want me to call you because I'm not seeing your number here. How to figure out the first and second move out of 15 moves for a young entrepreneur. Man, I can't wait for you to get the book. I want to get into the AI industry. What should I do to prepare besides college? How do I move from 0 to 1 with an idea? What about Mexico? What about Mexico? Okay, you guys Twitter's got to give us specific questions. Okay, let me go to Insta. Assyrian. We got Assyrians on Instagram, man. That's exciting to get Assyrians. Start a business in an economy like this. How do you start a business in an economy like this? Man, that's exactly when we started it. American Airlines, do you think American Airlines will receive a bailout from federal government, though they're debt-driven? Couldn't tell you that right now. Let me see here.
I'm on Facebook.
What do you have? Tell me.
I have a skill and my job treats...
Have a skill, my job treats me well. It's a high-demand job. My exit strategy is real estate investing. How do I make the jump?
Where's that coming from? Okay?
How do I make the jump and start my
9-5.
business? Hang on one second. Or keep my business plan goal the same. Let's try to see what we got. 5221588033. Okay. All right, so we are calling Miguel Lopez right now. Miguel.
Patrick Ben David.
Miguel Lopez.
Man, it's a pleasure.
It's good to be on the phone with you, man. So where are you calling from?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Warm weather, 85 degrees.
Oh, yes. It's 34 degrees. Not so bad.
Oh, really? It's 74 degrees?
34.
Or 34 degrees. For some, yeah, that's what I thought.
Right.
No, I was going to say 74. By the way, how cold does it get in Minnesota around January, December time?
Well, we got it. We got lucky this winter, but last winter we got below. It was the coldest day last year during the polar vortex was negative 30, I think.
Did you hear what it just said? Negative 30. Negative 30, when you go live, it freezes. I mean, it's just, that's how cold it is. So tell me, from Minnesota, what's on your mind? What are you thinking?
Hey, man, I've been following you since you had 200,000 followers on YouTube.
Nice.
What side do you call?
Appreciate your loyalty, man. 200,000. At 200,000, were we still throwing pillows at 200,000?
Yes.
Yes, we were.
I never sent you one, though, but anyway, let's get down to business, because I think I only
Tell me.
have 5 minutes, hopefully. I do HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You do AC. Go ahead.
Okay. And it's a high demand in Minnesota because it's winter and summer.
Sure.
We only got two. And you got to. I'll send you my address so you can give it a pillow. Anyways, it's we get high demand during the winter and during the summer because it gets hot during the summer, cold during the winter. So it's always busy at my work. My job treats me well. I got great benefits. I'm 27 years old. I have a family of 5. I have 3 kids, married. I do real estate investing on the side. I'm investing in real estate.
What's your question? What's your question? So I got to get through multiple callers. What's your question?
My question is, because my job is in such a high demand, do I start my own business or keep my business plan going? Because my exit strategy is real estate investing, but I feel like it's too slow to build wealth in real estate. I know we can build a lot of wealth, but it takes time. And
So what's your question?
I don't know if I should make the jump and start my own business because of my job security and my family. I have $50,000 right now to invest. I don't know if I should put that on real estate or start my own business.
So what are you doing full time? You said you're working in a air conditioning business?
Air conditioner and furnaces, heating and cooling.
So what kind of money are you making?
I'm making about $80K a year.
Okay. You're making $80K a year, and what's your expenses on a monthly basis?
About $4K.
$4,000? So are you able to save around $1,000 a month, $1,000 to $2,000 a month?
Yes, $1,200 a month. That's what I say.
Very good for you, man. You're pretty detailed on where you're saving. Okay, $1,200 a month. You got 50. You said you're 27 years old, family of 5 with 3 kids, if I recall. Yes.
Yes.
3 kids at 27 years old. Now, I mean, you're a hardworking guy in the bedroom. You know, respect to you with making those babies there. Where are you from? Where's your family from?
I'm Mexican, man. I'm an immigrant, just like yourself, man.
What part of Mexico?
Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Jalisco. It's a good place. I've been there multiple times. Okay, So 27 years old, 50K. So do you know what business you want to get into? Do you kind of have an idea what business you want to get into? Because real estate, so investing is a long-term play. It's not an immediate play.
I know, and I've been doing that for about a year. I have a rental place. We are flipping the house right now, and it's good. It's good business. It's just it'll take time for me to become a millionaire, and I know HVAC contractors that make a lot of money too. So, but I don't want to take the risk because of my family. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. Is your wife also working, or she stay home?
She's full time. She works too, so that helps.
So you guys got a dual income.
Yes.
So, and she's not fired right now or laid off right now.
No, she's working from home, taking care of the kids because they care close.
Okay, got it. So look, you're asking two questions here right now. You're thinking about whether to go to real estate, and you bought a rental property, but it's not going to make you a millionaire overnight. Then the second question you're asking is what business to get involved in. But it sounds like, no matter what direction you go to, here's the one misconception. No matter what business you go to, it's going to take you a minute to become a millionaire. You ain't going to be a millionaire overnight. It's not going to be like, hey, I bought 2 properties, boom, I flipped it. I flipped it and I made $1 million. That doesn't happen right off the bat. There will be a process. You just got to make a decision which direction you're going to be going with, because sometimes buying rental properties, that's a 10-year play. That's sometimes a 15, 20-year play. That's not a 1-year play. That's not a 2-year play. That's a 10, 15, 20-year play that you're doing. Industry-wise, business-wise, this is what I'd be doing if I were you. I would be doing my research. A guy called me, the guy called me from Canada, one of my guys that I consult. He does about $500 million in business. He was doing $500 million of business. You know exactly who I'm talking about. He's in Canada right now. And he says he had some money he was sitting on what industry to consider go into. And he and I, after multiple conversations, he flew in here in Canada, from Canada to here 4, 5, 6 times. And after multiple conversations we had, I told him, look, this guy's in a phase where he's made the money and he's trying to see what to do next. I said, get in the habit of studying industries today if you don't know what industry you want to be a part of. When I didn't know yet what industry I wanted to be a part of, I studied industries and I looked at everything. I looked at real estate, I looked at loans, I looked at pharmaceutical sales, I looked at technology, telecommunication. I looked at every possible thing I could get involved in. And then I said, okay, this is the one I'm going to get involved in. Today, after this mess comes through, after this whole thing gets cleared up and they figure out a way to solve this, whether it's through medicine for coronavirus or it's a vaccine, there will be many new industries that will do very well that are not the typical industries. And you got to figure out which ones those are going to be. And that's part of the research that comes in. Like, most people had no idea Zoom was going to do this good. Zoom stock is up 70%. How is Zoom stock up 70%? Because everybody's using Zoom. The other day I had a 70-year-old who's a biowarfare expert who was a lieutenant colonel in the military for 23 years. He says, yesterday all I was doing was learning how to Zoom. He says, I've never used Zoom before. A 70-year-old today has to learn how to Zoom. They're forced to learn how to Zoom because the school is saying the only way we're teaching students right now is Zoom. So you got to kind of start thinking about when an economy crashes, what is immediately something we need to use? When a pandemic happens, when this happens. So there's a lot of, like for me, when 2008 happened, I sat around and I said, we're going to start an insurance company. Why? I just knew this was going to be an industry to be a part of because people are not going to go into stocks. They don't trust banks at that time because banks were bailed out. People are not going to go into mutual funds, but they trust insurance companies because insurance companies pay the money back and insurance companies don't lose money for clients. I said, that's the direction I'm going. I didn't go into loans because loans were tighter. And even though banks were bailed out, banks weren't giving money back into the economy. They were hanging on to it. So I chose an industry. Wasn't a sexy industry for most people. Wasn't an industry a lot of people thought about. But it worked very well for me and the people that got started with us. And look at it now. So for you, real estate investment, all that stuff, you can have some good opportunities over the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months because as bad as it is today, some people are going to have it really bad in the next few months who cannot. There are people right now who are still hanging on to their homes because they got 3 months of expenses saved. But in 3 months, they're going to run out of their expenses and then deals are going to come up. A lot of good deals are going to show up in the next 2, 3, 4 months, not necessarily today. People think deals are good today. Deals are not good today. Deals will be good in about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You're going to see a lot of opportunities in the next 60, 90, 120 days if you're thinking about investing. But outside of that, I'd be looking at an industry long term, especially if you want to be a millionaire. You know, you could take the long route with that $80,000 your income. If you save $1,000 a month for the next 40 years, that's one way to do it. Or you can find an industry to get into that's having a lot of problems. You come and be a savior, and then you make a lot of money for yourself. There's a lot of that going on today.
So Patrick, sorry to interrupt you, man, but basically, of everything that you said right now, that the company or my line of work, it's not gonna make me a millionaire. Would you recommend me looking at something else?
If you're making 80 grand a year over there, is there any possibilities that you can own a piece of the company? Or is there any possibilities of you participating in profit sharing? Is there any possibility of you one day being a president or a VP or a CEO or somebody like that in the company where you can make the $250,000, $500,000, $1 million your income?
Not in this company.
Then you got to go look elsewhere. Look, in the book, there's a whole chapter in the book where I talk about, I wish this book was out today. There's a whole chapter in the book I talk about, you know, how today, like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, There's a whole thing going on that I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be an intrapreneur. I wanted somebody to be doing the top part, and I'm behind closed doors, and I'm driving, and I'm doing what I'm doing, help grow the company, but I'm a owner of the company. I own a piece of equity. I can participate in profit sharing. This is a great time to be an intrapreneur. This is a phenomenal time to be an entrepreneur. Maybe a better time to be an entrepreneur than an entrepreneur. This is by far one of the best times to be an entrepreneur, because while everybody is trying to go out there and start a gig and all this other stuff, if somebody's already in it and they're a solid CEO or founder, or that's a worker that's a little crazy, not a normal guy that's willing to work on the days that everybody else isn't, somebody that's going to be 24/7 thinking about growing a company, and you can go and run with this person and participate in profit sharing, equity, victories, all this other stuff. I mean, sometimes more important than finding a great company or a great industry to be a part of right now is a great founder or a great CEO to be a part of. Remember, a guy named Edward found a crazy guy named Mark, and he was able to work with that guy and got opportunities. And that Edward kid is worth $8 billion today, and Mark's last name is Zuckerberg. Edward's not an entrepreneur. He is a intrapreneur. Okay? I can tell you many, many stories right now. Just as much as people are looking for great industries to be part of right now, or great companies to be part of right now, you ought to make it just as much of a priority of finding a person like Elon Musk, or a person like a Jobs or a Bezos or somebody like that at a lower level, who's extremely ambitious, who's extremely driven, who's extremely competitive, who's extremely unreasonable when it comes down to work and getting things done. It's just as effective to team up with somebody like that today, as much as it is with an industry. So make a list of industries, make a list of companies, and make a list of people that you know that are trying to build something special, that are working and growing. Find a way to go get together with them and do business with them. That's what I would tell you. And meanwhile, I know you're going to spend a lot of time at your house with your wife, Netflix and chilling. Maybe take your time with making the next baby right now, because this may not be a good time to make a baby. Take your time making babies right now with your number 4.
No, Patrick, no more babies for us.
Good for you, man. 3's a good number.
Hey, man, I'll send you a number. I'll call you right back after this call.
This is an office line. If you call back, my customer service person is going to answer the phone, but they're very pleasant if you want to call them. Take care, buddy. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Okay, that was good. Kai, do you have another one? Twitter, I really want to get you here. What do you say to the people out there frightened? Okay, let's talk to the people out there that are frightened. Okay, I'm going to go to Twitter. I'm calling you. I think that is Kristen. You're about to get a call. 705-3971. Twitter. This one's for you, Twitter. Don't see I wasn't thinking about you. Okay, let's see if he picks up the call.
Hello.
Is this Kristen?
This is Christopher. Is this Patrick Ben David?
This is Christopher. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I am very good. So where are you based out of?
I'm coming from New Orleans.
So how's everything in New Orleans?
Oh, it's crazy. There's
COVID is essentially all over the hospitals. I'm one of the hospital workers, currently a resident, kind of dealing with a lot of things. But I was curious, because I've seen the way the president reacted to the question about, what do you say to the people that are frightened? I was curious about your response.
So tell me before I tell you, what did you think about the way he responded? Because I know what it was when he called the person, whatever he called them. What are your thoughts about how he responded to it?
I didn't think I think it was appropriate and inappropriate.
Tell me both. I think that's fair, but tell me why on both sides.
Okay, so I think it was probably an appropriate response in the fact that the mortality rate of this is rather low, but it's also inappropriate because the United States is in a frenzy right now. It's the nerves are high. People are dying from this. So it's very inappropriate to dismiss the concerns of those individuals and their families.
Fair enough. Okay. And I think both of them are right, but I'll give you a completely different perspective if you want to hear a different perspective. Here's my other perspective. Look, how many people know what it's like to be a president during the time of pandemic? How many people know that in their resume? Like, how many people in the world right now can say in their resume, I was a president when there was a pandemic and things went crazy and I was working on it to clean house and the media wasn't on my side and everybody was trashing me left and right. How many people can say that?
Yeah, very few.
Matter of fact, I want you to even say this to you. There's only one person. Because when Barack Obama was president and we had a case like this, the H1, what was the case? Was it swine flu? It was swine flu where we had 57 million cases. We had 250,000 people that went to the hospital and 12,000 people in the U.S. that died in 2009, 2010. And Barack Obama was president. But most people don't even remember that. Why? Because the media was on his side. So when the media was on his side, everybody was like, oh, it's going to be all right. Oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, it's going to be okay. And we moved very slowly. That's why 12,000 people died. So on the flip side, it's a little bit frustrating for him to see that, wait a minute, why is everybody against me? And if you're going to bully me, I'm going to come right after you because that's been his style since day one. Okay? So we have to understand that the last thing he needs, he's trying to calm everybody down, and the media is trying to scare the hell out of everybody because the more scared people are, the more people watch the news. It's just how things are. There are more people right now watching the news and more advertising dollars than before. So that's the part with that. Now, as far as is that the appropriate response for anybody else? No, it's not. But it's how he's been since day one. If media people, if voters, if the American people at this point are shocked by any way President Donald Trump responds, I am shocked by the people who are shocked. Because if I am a way that I am 24/7 and you all of a sudden, like, are people expecting him to all of a sudden say, oh, John, I totally understand your concern. I felt the same way. I understand how you're losing sleep at night. I care so deeply about your family and your wife and kids. And you know what? I understand how everybody's afraid. That's not his approach. Can you even imagine President Trump doing something like that? No. Have you ever seen him being like that? No. What makes you think he's going to be like that today? Now, flip it. How do you think a Reagan would respond at a time like this? How do you think Bill Clinton would have responded to a time like this? Maybe Bill Clinton would be in a way of, look, I understand we're working tirelessly to make sure this happens. We're deeply concerned about the families out there. Or Reagan would say, I understand our number one priority is the American people. But that's just not Trump. That's all there's to it. You can't expect to change a person's personality. That's how this guy is. So there's a lot of people that work with me and I work with them and I watch them. And at one point, it took me a long time to realize this. I was in my early 30s when I realized this. It wasn't quick for me to learn this. There are certain people that have certain personalities and you ain't changing their personality. You can teach people good habits, but you can't change people's personalities. That's their DNA. And this is his DNA. And if he's been like this for 75 years, it ain't changing today. So I wouldn't be crossing my fingers saying, oh, on the next what do you call it? On the next interview he's doing or the next interaction with the media, he's going to be more general on a press conference. I highly doubt it. So don't be betting on that because it ain't coming anytime soon. He's going to keep trashing the media that trashes him. It's his style.
So, Patrick, I'm a big fan. I'm going to throw a hypothetical. If
Go
you
for
were
it.
president, how would you address that question?
If I was a president today, I would probably use humor, levity, and not humor and levity in a way of humor at coronavirus. Humor and levity to calm the nerves. I would probably be showing strength, and I would probably be showing that everything's going to be okay. And if a person were to ask me a question like that, if you do attack me and you come after me, I'm also not somebody that's going to sit there being bullied around. I mean, if I tell my kids from day one, there's a few things that we do as a family. We lead, we respect, we improve, we love. There's 4 things we pray for is courage, wisdom, tolerance, understanding. And there's 2 things we don't do. We don't bully and we don't get bullied. And if somebody tries to bully you, you got to make sure that's the last time they're going to bully you. So there's going to be part of it also that you're going to have to stand up for yourself because the media doesn't make the president's job any easier at times. The media sometimes divides America more than unifies America. If there's any organization in America that's divided America more than politicians, it's the media. It ain't the White House. Let me say this one more time. It ain't no Nixon, John F. Kennedy, or FDR or Hoover or any of these guys. Some are Democrats, some of them are Republicans. It ain't them who divided America. It's the media that divides America. Pre-media, it was actually a very simple transition that people were going through. The moment media came, everybody was divided. It went from United States of America to the divided States of America. So my challenge would be a similar challenge to encourage the media to report accordingly. And at the same time, if we do something wrong, call us out. If I do something wrong, call us out. Call us out and we'll do our best to be able to fix it. And maybe we'll have an answer for you. Maybe we'll not have an answer for you right now because there's certain things we're working on that the world simply should know about because our enemies are watching. There's no way in the world you're going to be disclosing everything to the media because the world is watching MSNBC, Fox News. You better believe China, Germany, Europe, Russia watches Fox News, MSNBC, CNN more than Americans are watching it. Let me say that one more time. You better believe China, Russia, UK, Germany, France, Europe, any European nations, you better believe they are watching U.S. media more than U.S. Americans are watching it because that's the enemy. The enemy's trying to find a certain kink in our messaging so they can have an edge over us. So that would be my approach I would take, but I'm not the president, and I'm just going live on Facebook today trying to inspire some people to keep their head up and go out there and stay poised and win.
Yes, sir. Patrick, thanks so much for the response, and I love your content. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, buddy. Much love to you. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Kai, do we have a next one here? Can you call? Boom, 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 boom. I located St. Kitts. Okay, so that Twitter, you got love right there. Twitter, CNN gets watched so much in South America. Makes sense. Texas is all Fox News, by the way, just so you know that. Hi, Pat, where do you see recruiting firms going from here? Recruiting firms as in, what kind of recruiting firms is he talking about? So I'd be curious to know what kind of questions it is. See what else we got. Give me another question here. Your thought on financial system with blockchain. I know that's a Bitcoin person. Let's see what we got here. How can service industry take advantage of a falling economy? You want to call that one? Service industry take advantage of falling economy? Let's see what you got to say. This is Mustafa. Mustafa, I'm calling you, buddy. Mustafa. It's a good name. What do you do when everything's on the line today? What do you do when you have everything on the line today? I like that one. Ali Luadi. Is this Mustafa?
This is Mustafa. How are you, Patrick?
I am good, Mustafa. Where are you calling in from, buddy?
I'm calling from Toronto.
How's everything in Toronto?
Everything is good. We are under emergency.
You are as well?
Yes.
Okay. So what's on your mind? What are you thinking?
So,
We'll take 2 more questions, guys.
Okay. We own 3 barbershops.
and we are in the service industry, and we decided to shut down our barbershops on the 15th of this month. We don't know how long we're going to be shut down for, but I know in times like these, the real business people come out. So I'm thinking how business and the service industries can.
I'm so glad I took your call. I wish you would have said barbershop because I would have called you ASAP. I almost didn't call you. Okay, so can I ask you a few questions since you're in the barbershop business?
Yeah.
So yesterday I went to get a haircut yesterday, and every time I've been going to my haircut, what have I been telling you? I keep telling you what? I'm going to cut the whole thing off. Every time I go in, Michael closes me. One more time, and he keeps telling me go one more time, and it drives me nuts. But we've got one more time because apparently, this is a less intimidating look than me being all fully shaved. But okay, so
I've actually messaged you a few times encouraging you to grow your hair.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get certain people. Younger people are telling me don't grow your hair. Folks who have families and kids, they're telling me to grow my hair. But anyways, right now it's growing. We'll figure out what we're doing. So Mustafa, questions for you. So when your customers come in, do you have a database of your customers? Do you have a database of your customers of how many people? Okay. So do you have everybody's cell phone number? How do you keep in contact with them? Is it cell number or email?
We have both. Emails mostly, but we have their cell phone numbers and we also have their emails.
Okay, so how many total emails do you have and how many total cell phone numbers do you have?
We have around a little bit under 5,000 emails and probably around 1,000 phone numbers.
5,000 emails and 1,000 phone numbers. That's what you have. So you closed down shop is what you did.
Say that again, sorry?
You closed down shop is what you did, right?
We closed it. We've been closed for almost a week yet.
How many barbers do you have?
We have around 20 barbers and 3 shops.
Oh, okay, so is one of them have like 10 and then it's 5? What's the setup? Because it's typically one shop.
One shop has 5, the other shop has 7, and the other shop has around another, I think, 7. But we have part-time as well, and we don't close. We open 7 days a week, so we have employees that take days off, like 1 or 2 days off a week.
Okay.
So in total, we are around 24 employees.
Okay, let me ask you this: out of your 20 barbers that you have, do you have a top 5 that are the most loyal to you, who would never leave you? They love working for you.
Definitely, yes.
How many do you have? Is it 5?
I have around 5, 6, definitely.
Okay.
Probably more.
Okay.
All of them are lawyers, to be honest.
Let's just say you got 5. Let's just hope they're not on the call here because I'm about to give you advice that the other 14 are not going to like. So your most loyal 5, 6, it is your job to do whatever you can to take care of those 5, 6. And this is one of the things I would do. Yesterday, I go to my barber, he cuts my hair, and I say, what's going on? They shut the entire place down. They let go of 80% of their employees, okay? They only kept 3 people there. 3 people there, and this is a legit barber shop. It's an expensive one. It's $35 a pop. They wash, they massage. It's a bunch of different things that they do. So, they have to close shop. So I said, what are you going to be doing? He says, honestly, I don't know. Because the guy still's got to make money.
That's right.
It's not like they don't have to make money. By the way, Instagram, I'm about to get to the full 1 hour, so I may have to shut it off and come back on. And stuff. If I do that, just know I'm coming back on because I want you to hear what I'm going to say to this person here. Matter of fact, I'm just going to do it right now and I'm going to come back on because it's only 1 minute. Hang tight. And now...